I am very moved by the words of the Master of Ceremonies. I am not sure that I possess the qualities that she says I have, but I'm very moved by her words. I think what she failed to tell you was that the first time that I met her was in a combi. She was a Form 4 student, and she was talking to her friends poetically and dancing at the same time. And I said something to her that I won't tell you. I would like her to tell you what I said to her. I don't want to claim to be a prophet, but I said something to her about what I believed that she would become. And I'm delighted that she has become that, and she's becoming that. And I'm very proud to be part of a leadership that is leading young people as talented, filled with enthusiasm, filled with vision. I am proud of that. The protocol is long, but I will not tire from recognizing the people that have taken their time to be here today. Director of Ceremonies, Ms. Giselle, as I call her. Minister of Trade and Industry, another young promising leader in this country. The promising Honorable Member of Parliament for this constituency, Honorable Peño Sekgokgo. He calls himself Sesinye. President of the African Securities Exchanges Association, Mr. Pierre Celestin Rwabakumba, and your committee, permanent secretaries here present, the District Commissioner of Gaborone, the chairperson of the Board of Directors of the Botswana Stock Exchange, our own export to Italy, Ms. Neo Mooki, the Board of Directors of the BSC, as well as the Board of Directors of the Central Securities Depository Board, Acting Chief Executive of the Botswana Stock Exchange, Mr. Bolokwe, members of ASEA, guest of honor representing African Continental Free Trade Area, Ms. Emily Mburundorea, Secretary General of the Arab Federation of Capital Markets, Mr. Rami El Dokani, Chief Executive Officers of various stock exchanges across the beautiful African continent, executive and entrepreneurs from across the world and across Africa, distinguished delegates and guests, and the media, and the many other people that are here that make this occasion possible. And I saw a lady in here somewhere. Her name is Ita Manatoko. She was my supervisor when I was a young intern working for the Bank of Botswana. I appreciate her, and I welcome her today. When I was growing up, my parents were very keen on geography and history. And I remember them taking us and my siblings to Zimbabwe. We went to the Kariba and then went to the Matopo Hills. And I could not believe how breathtakingly beautiful the Matopo Hills were as a young boy. And I remember after experiencing the Matopo Hills, I went up to a place on which, engraved on that place, were the words of Cecil John Rhodes. I'll never forget those words. They continue to be imprinted in my heart. And I want to share with you what these words were and are. Open quotes. Whenever I was at the top of the Matopo Hills, I felt as if I was at the center of the universe. Close quote. And coming here, being in this country, having traveled across the African continent, I am still breathtaken by the beauty of our continent and the beauty of our people. Botswana has beautiful, beautiful people, young people who are driven, young people who are filled with hope, young people who are immensely talented and want to do things. They want to build global companies. They want to build their country. They want to invent. They want to innovate. And I have no doubt in my mind that this country has the people who will not only build Botswana, but build the African continent. And our responsibility as leaders is not to think or imagine that the responsibility of building is ours. Our job is to bring down the walls that inhibit our people from building. I am amazed by the beauty of our country. I have been to many places in my life. I have never seen a place as beautiful as the Okavango. The sausage trees of the Okavango, the jackal berries, the candle pod acacia, the marula tree, the baobabs, and the knob thorns of the Okavango. The beautiful birds, the egrets, the white-headed herons, the bee-eaters, the African geese, the African open bill. You find them only in the Okavango. What a privilege to be a citizen of Botswana. What a privilege to be an African. What a privilege to be part of a history, a beautiful history of the Monomotapa Empire, the empire that was a leader in mining and trade and funding, an empire that was a leader in poetry, in the arts. What a privilege to be an African. If you look at the most successful companies today around the world, most of them are companies that were started during the most difficult times, during recession. Uber, 2009. Square, 2009. Instagram, 2010. Pinterest, 2010. Airbnb, 2008. iRobot, 1990. Microsoft, 1975. All these periods were periods of recession. there were periods of difficult circumstances. And in many ways, our African continent is a continent of difficult circumstances. What an opportunity to start building. What an opportunity to build global players, African players. What an opportunity to make Africa the center of the globe again. I am proud to be an African. So today I'm proud to welcome all of you to the Republic of Botswana, and in particular to the 27th Annual Conference of the African Securities Exchanges Association, ASEA, hosted here in Tlokwe. I'm delighted to note that this esteemed gathering marks the second occasion that our very own Botswana Stock Exchange has had the honor of hosting such a pivotal conference. Precisely 5 years ago, the ASEA conference was held in Kasane and now in Gaborone. Today, we convene once again for the 27th conference to build upon the legacy with renewed vigor and shared ambition. I don't know if I'm the only one, but this facility could have been anywhere in the world. And I want to say to you, this new government intends to make Botswana a place that prioritizes the meeting incentives, conferences, and exhibitions center on the African continent. It is my hope that arrangements which have been made for you are adequate and will thus make your stay here enjoyable and memorable. I would like to encourage all of you to remain in Botswana even after this conference. It is indeed a great pleasure to be here to address this esteemed occasion of the most talented people on the African continent on all matters concerning money and finances. I was looking at the poet and I saw some money coming to the floor. And I thought to myself, this is not just an imaginary gathering of people from the stock exchanges, but that this is actually a stock exchange. Many of you would have been aware that Botswana is now being led by the people themselves. Many of you would have realized that there was a time when the people were afraid of the government and afraid of the leaders of this country. I want to tell you, those who are visiting, the government is afraid of the people of this country. So afraid that you would have noticed when I came into this room, I tried to greet everyone. Because if I don't know that, given what I saw they did in October, I don't want them doing that again while I'm still trying to serve them. So this is a country that I can confidently say is being led by its people. We are here as the servants of the people. We are here as instruments of our people's vision and our people's intent. And today's gathering of thought leaders from across Africa and the world is another significant milestone for Botswana, the Botswana Stock Exchange, and ASEA. I've been informed that the theme for this conference is fostering transformation in capital markets through innovation. Fostering transformation in capital markets through innovation. I don't like being caught up in jargon. So many times, even when now I have lots of stuff to do my speeches, even when they write dissertations for me and corpus magna for me, I rarely read everything because this country is being led by the people. I must always be in a position to simplify because I am here on their behalf. And we must never forget what we are about. Words of a prayer. Let the people dream again, let the people live again, let the people love again. Let destinies be retrieved from their places of burial. And whatever we do, we must never lose sight what we are about, creating opportunity for our people. We must never forget what we are about, creating jobs for our people, improving the quality of life of our people. We must never forget what we are about, regardless of the complex issues that we entangle ourselves in. So the theme recognizes the mega trends that have shifted global perspectives and sentiments, such as COVID-19 pandemic, the geopolitical tensions, the macroeconomic shifts, the regulatory evolution, and the emergence of innovative and transformative services and products within the investment landscape in the continent and globally, and the need to insulate our capital markets from systemic shocks from being progressively disruptive and innovative. The African continent is particularly at a pivotal moment, with a population projected to reach 2.5 billion by 2050, the world's largest working age cohort, and the promise of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Africa is poised for an economic renaissance. Our capital markets can and must be at the heart of this transformation. The African Continental Free Trade Area provides great opportunities for African capital markets to expand by creating enlarged markets, economies of scale, increased competitiveness, and more opportunities to invest in African markets and firms. But most importantly, it presents an opportunity for African markets to redefine and surpass global standards by blending technological advancements with uniquely African solutions. And within the broader financial sector, mobile money platforms and the e-commerce ecosystems have already demonstrated the continent's ability to leapfrog traditional development pathways. By fostering collaboration between public and private sectors, Africa can create capital markets that are not only globally competitive, but also distinctly African in their character and resilience. You know, if you were to traverse the best universities across the world, in the US, in Europe, in Asia, and Africa itself, the finest PhD students that are innovating, looking for solutions to African problems, most of them, many of them, are African students. And in the new Botswana, we are committed. In fact, work is already underway for us to find all these brilliant PhD African students who are solving African problems. And we want to give them a home here in Botswana. And not only do we want to give them a home and a platform, we want to be able to build the infrastructure for them. If they are weaving and working, for instance, on high-performance shoes, we will build the labs here. If they are working on superfoods, we will build the labs here. And we are in the process of setting up a wealth fund, which fund will invest in the very best of our young people on the African continent that are working on solving African problems. So you in the stock market and securities community, one of the big tasks that you have on your table is to assist these dreams by mobilizing capital, mobilizing resources, so that these dreams, these innovations, this excellence is put to bear, is realized, materializes, and Africa becomes the leader on the global stage that it deserves to be. I am proud to be an African. So I'm confident that all these things can be achieved, as we have seen with the remarkable expansion of African stock markets. Today, 29 African countries host stock exchanges, a striking contrast to 1989, when only 5 nations had established them. This expansion is a clear reflection of the continent's growing financial sophistication, economic stability, and a strong drive towards greater economic integration. But we cannot rest on our laurels. The challenges brought about by COVID-19 pandemic included higher domestic inflation, higher financing costs, fiscal deficits, debt restructurings, and debt sustainability concerns in many countries. These reaffirmed the importance of building a fit-for-purpose financial market ecosystem that can cushion our economies during stressful times such as these. And among others, this involves the development of a broad-based investor base that comprises a well-capacitated domestic, retail, and institutional investors, a dynamic pension fund system that generates deeper pools of long-term liquidity, new financial products, I suppose derivatives, as they call them, among other things, adopting globally recognized financial market standards, a progressive policy making and regulatory regime, and embracing robust financial markets infrastructure. The Botswana Stock Exchange is a pivotal component of our long-term development agenda as articulated in the Manifesto of the People. I am not talking of a particular party. I am saying the Manifesto of the People imprinted in the hearts of the people, imprinted in the spirits of the people. That is our hope, that is our determination. In March 2020, at the height of COVID-19 outbreak, the Botswana Stock Exchange was globally acclaimed as one of the best performing stock exchanges in the world. This reflected the resilience of the tenets of a fit-for-purpose securities market that supports formation, mobilization, and optimal allocation of capital, as well as asset valuation and risk management during a time of crisis. The Botswana Stock Exchange has positioned itself as the center of our financial sector, channeling savings into diverse investment opportunities across various sectors and geographies. This transformative role by the exchange aligns with our commitment to leveraging the capabilities of its world-class financial markets infrastructure, the dynamic and deeper pools of liquidity, and the conducive regulatory environment for rapid economic transformation. It's time for water. We are serious about building a serious water infrastructure. And we are looking not at 5-year plans, but 50-year plans, 100-year plans, 150-year plans in the new Botswana. May I do a cheers to those plans for mega water projects. As capital markets have financed development the world over, Botswana has had to reflect on the optimal use of its pension resources for economic development. For many decades, Botswana pension resources were invested in financial markets abroad. That appeared to be the trend in various countries on the basis that local capital markets lacked the instruments and the institutional capacity to absorb the liquidity generated by pension savings and insurance premiums. In 2022, Botswana amended the Retirement Funds Act to increase the limit of funds which can be invested locally by pension funds from the then minimum of 30% to a minimum of 50% by 2027. And I'm pleased that in the new Botswana, we believe that with the right packaging of mega projects, with the right development of risk analysis capacity, we will have enough vehicles through which to invest and channel these investment funds, these pension funds. And as I have said, in the new Botswana, our plan is to co-invest with other countries, co-invest in strategic infrastructure, fast rail, underground oil pipelines, power projects. There are so many plans that we hope we will co-invest with other African countries. This has been the trend in many African countries. If you've forgotten the trend of what they do with pension funds, where the need for home buyers, or at least attaining an equilibrium, was compelling in the interest of closing Africa's huge infrastructure investment gap and driving the deepening of capital markets. In the 2 days of this conference, it is my hope and belief that you will share not only these case studies, but will discuss extensively a broader range of pertinent topics. And I hope these will include, but not limited to, the integration of ESG in African capital markets, the unlocking the potential of SMMEs. I hope you will talk about innovative ways of funding SMEs who may not meet the requirements, the stringent requirements of many African regulations. I hope you will be discussing AI, artificial intelligence, not importing technology from outside and retailing it. No, I'm talking about indigenous African knowledge, African way of doing AI. We are hoping you'll be looking at those things, issues of investor education and inclusion, particularly of SMEs. I hope you'll be looking at more innovation around what could be unique products, including in commodity markets, the infrastructures that might be required to develop some of these unique markets, not just in Botswana, but on the African continent. We are hoping that in the near future, Botswana will establish a national retail payment switch that facilitates electronic funds, transfers, and transactions, enhancing efficiency, security, and interaction among various financial institutions. I know for sure that we are working on this payment system, and I have been in touch with our central bank, and you should see them in their eyes when they talk about this switch. How refreshing it is to work with professionals that are enthused, that are enthusiastic, that are fired up about building their country and building their continent. I am proud to be an African. Our transition to a knowledge-based economy to which capital markets are pivotal will be largely underpinned by digitization. And on this note, I'm informed of a blossoming landmark partnership between a local bank, Stanbic Bank, Botswana, and the Botswana Stock Exchange, which introduced the stock market simulator in April 2024, which directly contributes to this agenda. Furthermore, this partnership supports the aspirations of the country, which focuses on capacity building and inclusive digital platforms that place citizen empowerment at the heart of our economic development initiatives. As we all appreciate, the story of Africa is that of opportunity. opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. This opportunity can be capitalized by the vast financial resources that remain underdeployed due to the illiquid and shallow markets that characterize our countries. But what is fundamental to exploiting this opportunity is the need for our markets to be underpinned by regulatory frameworks that promote transparency, that safeguard investor interests, and ensure accountability within the capital markets ecosystem. In light of this, it is imperative for the African exchanges to be affiliated with prominent international bodies, including the World Federation of Exchanges, the World Federation of Central Securities Depositories, the Committee of SADC Stock Exchanges, the United Nations-backed Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiative. These associations enhance Africa's global appeal by promoting the visibility and credibility of our capital market, reinforcing market standards and regulatory compliance, and stimulating cross-border investments. I am optimistic, truly optimistic, that ASEA, which I am informed currently has more than 25 members across 32 countries, will continue to be a key collaborative entity that aims to provide insights and impactful initiatives to its member exchanges. Thus, our commitment as the Republic of Botswana to support the association in transforming African exchanges and economies is unquestionable. And as I move towards the conclusion, I wish to commend the organizer and the host of this conference, the Botswana Stock Exchange, under the youthful leadership of the chairperson, Ms. Sesame Mooki, the Italian, our export to Italy. I said to you, in fact, I warned you, that Botswana has such deep oases of talent. Before you know it, we will be citizens of Botswana and citizens of the African continent. We will be leading all key institutions on the global stage. So we are grateful to the Botswana Stock Exchange. I was listening to the chairman of the Rwanda Stock Exchange. He was talking glowingly about Botswana and its hospitality and how we have inspired him. He was saying such kind words about the president, the vice president, and the leaders of this country. And I was looking at him and listening to him carefully. And I was wondering why this gentleman is going out of his way to be so kind. He's a kind man, all right. I appreciate that. But I thought, no, this kindness needs to be analyzed. We need to unearth some mathematical abstract concepts to analyze this kindness. And fortunately, I analyzed this kindness. And I have come to the conclusion that this gentleman, for those who don't know, has poached the CEO of the Botswana Stock Exchange, poached him, the promising Mr. Tseol, and taken him to Rwanda at the expense of the new Botswana, at the expense of the dreams of my people, at the expense of this path that we are on. And I realize that he's trying to soften me. He's trying to get me to say it is okay that you have poached. It is okay that you have been ruthless and cruel to us. So I have news for you. Two sets of news. The first is that this chair lady here and her board, as is typical in the new Botswana, are as outstanding as to have found for us, yet to be announced, a new CEO who is world-class, who can be CEO anywhere else in the world. That's my first piece of response to your kindness. The second piece is that it's okay, you can have him. The reason you can have him is because in the new Botswana, we don't have a sense of national borders. An African is an African. Everything we do, we will do together with all Africans. In the new Botswana, we believe in clarity of vision. And we have clarity of vision. Our people have clarity of vision about where they want to go and who they want to be. In the new Botswana, we believe that depth, knowledge, is necessary to lift us to the next stratosphere. And we believe that Africa has the depth, has the knowledge. Everything we do with Africa, for Africa. In the new Botswana, we believe in character, discipline, people coming on time. I hope I wasn't late. In fact, I was on time precisely, the time I was given. So we believe in perseverance. She talked about patience. I don't think our youth are yet patient. But in the new Botswana, we believe the time will come when they will be patient. We believe in generosity of heart. We believe in discipline. We believe in diligence and old-fashioned hard work in the new Botswana. In the new Botswana, we believe in sense of community, that no one can achieve anything on their own, that no man, no woman is an island. We believe that merit, excellence, is what will speak for our people. We believe that when any one of us rises and excels and climbs and glides the skies, then we all climb and glide the skies with the one who rises. And anyone who falls, we fall with them in the new Botswana. And I hope it is not just a new Botswana. I hope it is a moment for a new Africa that also has clarity of vision. The new Africa that trusts its own depth of knowledge. A new Africa that has character. A new Africa that also believes in a sense of community, that we are one family. We are the great Africa. We are the beautiful Africa. We are the Africa that will build a future for generations to come. We are the Africa that future generations will be proud of. Let the people dream. Let the people live. Let the people love. Let destinies be retrieved from their places of burial. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor, Ndaba Gaolathe. If that little girl would have known she was in a combi with future leadership, I don't know what she would have said, because it's true. The younger me was always saying or singing something with an audience, be it of 3 or the whole class. It is a mind-blowing honor to witness that we have leadership that so unapologetically recognizes the power of creative talent, trusts us to express ourselves at such high altitudes. That's the kind of affirmation that introduces an unfamiliar fearlessness to how far we can dream about where our talents can really take us. Your Honor, if you will allow me,